Now, there are many times on television where you see the interpretation of a demon and their eyes are completely black. Like there's no white in the eyes. So you can imagine a person's terror when they run into a real person whose eyes are completely black. Now, the myth or the folklore is that they're trying to either lure you away or lure you to let them inside your house. So they'll knock on your door and they'll ask to come in. In one particular incident, a mom had gone to the grocery store with her young son. Now, her son was 11 years old. And she told him to wait in the car. She would just be in and out of the store, just be a couple of minutes. While he was sitting there alone in the parking lot, another child came up and was walking by. And he started knocking on the window and he was telling him, "Let me in." And the little boy, well, he felt like he couldn't say no to another child. And he says, "Are you okay? Do you need help?" And the little boy's like, "Let me in." So he lets the little boy get in the car. And when the mom comes back, she sees another child in the car sitting in there with her son. She's like, "Who's that? And why did you let somebody in the car?" And the little boy says, her son says, "Well, he's alone, Mom. I don't want to leave him alone out here." So the mom's like, "Okay." So she drives home. Her and her son get out of the car. She gets her groceries. And that child with black eyes is following them in. And he's all, "Let me in." At this point, Mom's really getting the eerie heebie-jeebie feelings. And she's like, "Okay, no. You're going to have to go home. Go find your mom. Do you need to use the phone?" And the little boy won't speak. He's just staring at her with his black eyes. Now, it's easy to wonder if you're just imagining that, if you're not seeing right. Well, this one particular case, there was a man driving down the road. And when he got to the red light, a person approached him, soliciting him and asking him for money. When he turned to look at him, he was stricken with fear. The man had only black in his eyes. And he was saying, "Let me in." Now, this driver just drove away terrified. He didn't even wait. He was just terrified, his heart pounding. And he kept driving home fast until he got home. And he ran inside and closed the door. He was terrified for seeing someone with black eyes. Another incident, a woman had gone to church. And her friend had said, "Here, let me introduce you to the pastor." When she turned to look, and the pastor turned to look at her and they locked eyes, his eyes turned completely black. To which she got terrified, but she didn't budge at all with any expression on her face. She acted completely natural because she was scared and she didn't want him to know that she could see that his eyes were completely black. But he got closer to her and said, "Nice to meet you." And he looked right into her eyes. It's like if he knew that she could see. But she just acted nonchalant, like, "Hi, so nice to meet you, yes." She didn't give him any clue that she could see. But he blinked his eyes slowly, and his eyes turned green again. She was scared. She didn't want to go back to that church. But it makes you wonder, like I wonder, a pastor of that stature, now it makes you wonder, a pastor of that stature, what is he doing? Like, she was terrified and she thought, because she thought black in the eyes was demonic. But this pastor was preaching the word of peace and love, and he had an entire congregation. He had so much influence on all of these thousands of people, and it was all positive influence. So you wondered, what could it possibly mean? One theory is that in the Bible it was said that angels fell from heaven and they laid with women and they had children and they were giants. But at some point in history, The giants eventually disappeared. They were killed off, they disappeared. But that doesn't mean genetically they didn't ever genetically keep breeding down until we actually have angels on earth. So are we looking at a demon? Are we looking at angels on earth? What are we looking at when you see and run into the black-eyed children or the adult with the black eyes? Are they here to teach us about humanity? Are they here to lure us away? You tell me, have you ever seen someone with the black eyes? Do you know anyone who's ever seen a black-eyed child or the black-eyed people? So remember, be careful, and if you want to be safe, you better get superstitious.